It's me, I'm here, let's just move on.
Let's just move on.
Just like this podcast. Hello and welcome to the Bible Podcast episode I don't fucking know. I'm going to say 263. Might be it, might not be. I don't know. It is. Summer is back and it's August. Summer's finally here. No rain.
Yeah, no.
Uh,
Past Saturday. No, past Saturday, then I don't care.
Past Saturday?
Yeah. Keep this nice weather till Saturday. Keep the summer fever Saturday till Saturday. Then afterwards, I don't really care.
Wow, what's happening Saturday? Are you killing a man?
No, I've got a pool party. Not a game of pool, but a pool paddling pool.
A paddling pool party.
Paddling pool party. In some back garden, which I don't know how it's going to fit many of us, but I mean, I'll just attend and see what happens. Hopefully in ideal conditions. If it ain't fucking winter has come. Because it is coming, believe it or not, folks. I mean...
Your thing is very quiet, man.
How many weeks is it till Christmas? Say roughly about 16 weeks, 4 months left to go, people. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Your thing is so quiet.
I said it's 16 weeks.
Do you want to swap? Go on that one, because I think you've got a naturally calmer voice. I don't know what's...
Well, I try to reserve myself
This microphone might be on the way out. Oh, you try this one, my dear boy.
I said it's 16 weeks till bloody Christmas.
It is 16 weeks till bloody look,
your mic is...
Maybe this one's dead.
No, it's just for testing purposes.
For testing reasons. Apologies to any headphone users. You've got headphones. Fucking charge them and don't put them in the washing machine. I don't know, maybe there's the settings. Yeah, they're there. That's hello.
But I never see that red though.
I know, but that's because I clicked on it and I don't. Now I can't unclick on it as long as I'm in the green.
Well, can't you click the B? Because that other one is B.
That one's B and then that one's A. I don't know what it does. I don't pretend to know. I don't want to know. Audio setup. We won't ever know. Ah, fucking hell. That's what we do. We get to a point where everything works and then the microphone's like, fuck you! Now I'm broken. Just like the visual effects artists at Marvel. Oh, he went there, ladies and gentlemen. He damn went there. So, about 50 VFX artists have agreed. They voted to unionise that work at on-set ones that work at Marvel. At the moment, have voted to unionise, which is great. Because one of the things I said once we were getting the writer / actors strikes was that exterminated 4.7
extra gigawatts.
Extra gigawatts. Hello. It's really not even moving it. That's 6 decibels higher than your one now.
What on earth does decibels even mean?
Franz Casterbarus or Franz Neptune?
I hope it ain't fucking Casterbarus, because that is a shithole.
Franz Casterbarus, absolute
shit. Shite.
Have I turned up your one? Hang on. Maybe that's what I've done.
My goodness, have you? Why am I so echoey all of a sudden? Oh, I mean on the sound waves.
I don't know.
Yeah,
jeez.
What the?
Wow. I don't fucking know. Just gonna turn that down slightly because maybe I'm picking you up. So anyway, the sound quality is going through the fucking floor with this. Hello.
Am I B? Right, I'm B. Yeah. Okay, I'm B and you're A.
Ah. Yeah, you're another good problem for another time. Fuck knows.
Try putting it in B. See what happens. Try putting it in B. Get rid of A.
It's A and B.
It don't do shit.
We're both B. B.
B for bees. No.
The bees.
Oh, not the bees.
I think that's working. Maybe that was it.
Oh.
We've solved it. I'm really sorry for anyone that's listening on the headphones. Look there. It's spiking a bit more. What a load of shit.
A little bit more. Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Fucking hell! What a load of old bollocks this is. Anyway,
Marvel visual effect artists, they sod off and they're striking.
Fuck you, pay us more money. And the good thing is, hopefully, it means VFX artists won't have to do hundreds of hours worth of crunch for little to no extra pay. Hopefully they actually get... No, hang on a minute. I will do a normal working week and be paid more fairly and accordingly. Not just because you want to rush this fucking thing out and have texture on this superhero's fucking forehead.
Yeah, Darren Cross's forehead. Unless it's Darren's, then fair. Because he wasn't a dick.
How many of them do you think are the MODOK guys?
About 47.
About 47 of them are MODOK.
About 47.
And they were split between each cheek of the arse in the back shot that then got fogged out a bit on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, good times, yes.
We saw MODOK's arse last year.
Somehow.
And that was, for many,
the
peak of cinema.
This year.
For me, the peak of cinema... Was it this year?
Yeah, February. It was this year, not last year.
What year is it?
Adam, what year is this? Yeah, no,
February.
February.
It is. It's the year we've missed out on another Doctor Who BFI screening.
Hey, good segue.
Oh my god. The thing, because we was talking about it, because we have like a podcast where we just chat
just chat and watch
stuff.
stuff.
This time I actually just showed Connor some clips of Dead Ringers that he'd never seen, and it was just
I somehow
John
knew
Culshaw.
it. I knew it, but I didn't know it, if that makes... And I didn't know they did Doctor Who. I thought it was just a general BBC spoof thing.
It's one of the first... It's my first exposure to John Culshaw. That's where I saw him, was in Dead Ringers. And because it was... I want to say Little Britain era, because... The YouTube channel says 14 years ago, which would place it at 2008, 2009. It was definitely before that. It was earlier Tennant.
So the original release, original ran was 7th of January 2000 till 15th of May 2007.
Yeah. So that's and the Doctor Who stuff would have been between the last couple of years of that show, because obviously David Tennant is the Doctor. Obviously, Doctor Who exists again. And
Classic Who was in the pipeline in terms of the DVD market, so people obviously bought them and were like, "Oh my god, I know the man with the scarf. I know Tom Baker."
Yeah, obviously, John Culshaw's done a Tom Baker impression for I think as long as he's been able to talk. So
right.
that I wouldn't have put past them being because he is a big Doctor Who fan anyway. Maybe that was just a thing he did in Dead Ringers. God, Dead Ringers. Bring it back. Put it on DVD. Put it on 4K release.
Put it on 4K, yeah.
Imagine because the clip's only played in 144p, and there's a visual gag in a Torchwood skit. They're like, good job of wearing our name badges with our defining character trait, and we could not read any of them.
No, we couldn't. It
Apart
was
from
blurry
the
as.
Gwen Cooper version just said Welsh. But Gwen Cooper's much more than that. She's Welsh with a heart of gold. An affiliation for just, having sex with Owen behind Reese's back. Shout out to
motivational role model right there. Role model.
Good time. There is some classic TV shit that's it was good back in the day. You wouldn't make it now.
I don't think you can get away with it now in some instances. Yeah,
in some instances of your Little Britons have and such forth. Before we've had this whole conversation of contextualize your history, don't delete it, blah blah blah,
and you don't tweak it, don't forget that you did it.
Why do people fucking scrap heap challenge?
Yeah, why?
Brainiac's coming back.
Oh, that's something.
Because they're on TikTok, and they're an official account now. They keep posting more regularly. It's I would love to see, because Brainiac was fucking wicked. Brainiac science abuse, and because it was Brainiac, then science abuse, and then history abuse.
Right, yeah.
And Richard Hammond, the face of terrestrial television in the early 2000s, because of something called Top Gear. I don't know if anyone ever watched it.
I've heard of Bottom Gear. I've heard of First Gear and the Clutch and the Clutch. I don't know about Top Gear.
Even Top Gear, Top Gear in its not even its original incarnation, because it was around in the 80s. The 80s, when it came back in 2002, that's a thing of that formula was
acceptable in the 80s.
I mean, it was acceptable at the time. That's a good Calvin Harris song. For
song.
A long time, I thought Calvin Harris and Ryan Gosling were either
same person,
either the same person or related, because they look
Calvin
very
Harris
similar.
and Ryan Gosling. Wait.
Well, one's Scottish and one's very, very American, so that's not the case.
And no. When you said Gosling, I imagined Reynolds, and then I saw Gosling and Harris. I mean, Come on, Twitter,
They
load.
don't look too
Sorry,
dissimilar.
X. Sorry, Elon. I know you're listening. I mean, I see it, kind of.
Yeah.
I think.
Younger. Imagine Calvin Harris slightly younger, because obviously Ryan Gosling has access to some kind of fountain of youth. But like that second version of Top Gear, that was a staple. That was one of BBC Worldwide's biggest fucking market shares. That made so much money for BBC Worldwide, BBC in general. Like it was, it was part of the BBC America lineup, which launched BBC America. Because BBC America is not a obviously state-funded channel in America, because it has adverts, because it's basically they've made a version of that to air in the United States, where you get your Doctor Who's and all your any such fucking. A lot of British stuff generally just goes on there anyway, because for them it's just a channel. It's not a production thing, so that would be like, yeah, we've got Downton Abbey on BBC America or whatever.
Just because,
But like fucking people used to watch Top Gear all the time. Like the early 2000s were great for British telly.
They were.
They were slightly better for Jeremy Clarkson before he started punching the production staff. But alas,
dear.
Good time. I used to love Top Gear, man. I still hold out for like maybe we'll one day get a box set release of all the seasons. Yeah, because you had DVDs going up to I think series 4.
So after Doctor Who the collection's done, then you get Top Gear the collection in a great big limited edition.
And the only guest they have at the Q&As is the Stig.
It's just Stig. Yeah.
But yeah, because like
behind the stigma.
I've definitely seen like the brand newer seasons on DVD, but like it kind of went up to season 12 or 14.
And then
it was like it would always have the special. I think all the specials are on DVD. They're not even in Blu-ray, because obviously like post 2009 they all. Do you remember BBC HD as a channel? Like that was the first thing, because it had the diamond ident.
Yeah,
the Planet of the Dead first aired. That was the first Doctor Who recorded in HD.
Yeah.
Because for the box set nerds, Next Doctor was upscaled.
Yes, it was. Yeah, anything
BBC HD, BBC 3D were all in like the summer of 2009 and 2010, and they were around for a little while. Because BBC 3D was around for the Wimbledon final in 2012 and obviously parts of the Olympics. But if you didn't have a 3D TV, it was just like the mirror image.
Yeah.
So you literally had a split screen with two of the same thing happening. Because I remember briefly watching the 2012, Wimbledon final, and there was just two Andy Murrays.
Split screen.
So two Andy Murrays can't even beat Roger
Murrayception.
Murrayception. A really great match, and my mother's always watching. BBC HD. I would still... A retro BBC channel, either on iPlayer, part of the corporation, or a subscription thing if you're going to do it. Like, if it was a channel on Amazon, because fucking no one's going to pay for BritBox.
No, no.
Let's be real.
Sorry, no.
Just all the old stuff, like have your Sarah Janes, Tracy Beaker, your Prank Patrols, like all the kids stuff on there, because no one makes kids stuff like the olden days, your classic Teletubbies and all that shit. Because they've started putting older years of EastEnders on iPlayer. Like you've got Y year on there now. You've got like the 2010s, like you can go through and watch them. And that's I think what they wanted to do with BritBox, but then like Channel 4 and ITV were like, we want to do it, and
no one collabed. No one collabed.
It became less about an archival place and more about new content, which like you would for a streaming service. But I think the BBC are very stuck in their path.
Right,
so they're very
in their trajectory, preserving.
iPlayer costs a lot of money for them, because they have to, pay the production company essentially to then put it back on there. It's why Sarah Jane wasn't on there for ages, and why when stuff's on there, it's on there for about a year, and it'll come to a point they'll either renew it or they won't. A lot like when they would have stuff on Netflix or whatever. Like there's loads of stuff on there that like you wouldn't like. Sarah Jane wasn't on there until last year and a bit.
Yeah.
And even then, that was just because of like pure demand. And Russell was like, "Good news, it's going back on iPlayer."
Hassling.
Stuff like that, because there's, especially, I think there's obviously a lot less love for the BBC and the way television is consumed, and we can say this all the live long day, yada yada yada. But you can't argue that there is a specific niche market, especially in our generation, where people are like, I remember watching those shows and loving them shows so much. Like if they dropped all of the original length confidentials on iPlayer, I would rinse the shit out of it. I'm not even kidding. Like, there was like times I wish iPlayer was around then.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you'd watch
100%.
Doctor Who at 7 o'clock on a Saturday, 7:45, you'd flick over to BBC Three, and it would be that confidential episode, and that would be the only time you'd ever be able to watch it for the full length, which would be 45 minutes. Then it was cut down to like 30 minutes, and some of them were cut down to 15 minutes on the DVD releases. And
Yeah,
stuff like that.
they got really chucked down. I think as you got into the Matt Smith era or the Moffat
Series
era, I
6
think they
ones are
really cut. Less than 50, like you say, less than 15. I think a couple
That
of them
they
even less
are-
than 10.
Yeah, they are, because I
bad.
think on average they've been cut from 45 minutes to 7 to 8 minutes.
Yes, it's just
Which
terrible.
isn't enough when you like.
It's terrible.
For those who don't remember, because you're too young and making us feel really old, Doctor Who Confidential was basically behind-the-scene magazine show that would go out each week with each corresponding episode. They would sort of talk about each episode that they were in. Like, you'd have talking heads from the cast, crew, writers, directors, Russell, Julie, Phil, all those kind of people. But each one would also kind of focus on a thing. Like, for me,
On
the
a
one that
civic
stands
theme,
out
Yeah.
is the Hungry Earth Cold Blood one, where they focus on the Foley artists.
Okay.
There was one in either series 3 or 4. Like, do you remember the first time? I think it was series 4 because David Tennant They let David Tennant direct it because obviously, like, it's last year. He directed that one, and it's him talking to Stephen Moffat about like the first times like watching Doctor Who and kind of things, like your
Experiences,
first
exposures.
experience,
Yeah.
and they do like special versions. Like there was one for the 11th Doctor when Matt Smith got announced on Confidential. Like, Confidential was always filming them filming. Like, that's how you get a lot of. For me, that's how I got a love of the industry. I got a wanting to be involved in it in some capacity, and like, fuck knows, one day maybe we'll still all get there.
Yeah.
But also, it made Doctor Who more of a personal show to me.
Yeah, I'll get that because it is that behind the look lens, that real people doing a real life thing, and yeah, you're getting a glimpse into what it is like on set, behind closed doors,
like all those
a little
things,
bit.
like the David Tennant video diaries,
Yeah,
those actual confidential episodes. You get, especially in the Russell era, you get a sense of everyone making this loves making it and wants to make it the best they can, and everyone's having fun. Obviously, we didn't know about some of the co-stars
some
at
of
the
the
time,
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's by the by. We can't stop it now. Hopefully, Russell does a statement if and when it comes to addressing those kind of things, because they kind of have to just be like, look, draw a line under it and say, own up to it. But we're not here to talk about Noel Clarke or John Barrowman, because also those kind of things make me like mourn for DVD extras.
Yeah.
Because I was never, as a younger child, I was never big into like the extras.
No, even when I was younger, I still always was consistent with deleted scenes, knowing what they filmed and what they removed, whether it is for length reasons, narrative reasons, complicated reasons. I get it. Deleted scenes, I was always interested in, but everything else, commentaries, audio stuff, blah 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 blah. I would rather just watch the movie. But then I did it recently in preparation for Chitty Flash, the Tim Burton Batman '89 and Batman Returns.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Tim Burton's a particularly interesting voice, or whether you've listened to any Burton commentaries on tracks, I don't know. But I did kind of, not that I had any idea who Burton was. I've not seen him in an interview or whatever. But I thought it was just an interesting way to kind of get at least into the director's mindset, because usually 9 times out of 10 with majority of film releases, it's always a sort of generic commentary, but with the director or with the writer or someone that's basically ahead of the project. But I find them at least interesting, just so you can get into their little mindset a little bit and kind of get the thought process behind it, and like if they're going to open up about certain scenes and why they did this instead of that, and you hear funny stories about the actors on set and stuff. But I'd just say for Batman '89 and Returns with Tim Burton, it was just a random example, but it kind of gave me a new lens to look from anyway. Arguably the two best Batman films anyway, aside from Pattinson and Nolan. Fuck you, Nolan. But no, I just thought it was a really good way for me to just kind of get more exposure, more glimpse into that era, because I wasn't born back then. Number one. And I weren't obviously thinking about none of that when I was younger. Oh,
Jesus Christ.
All right.
So
Number two.
Keep talking.
Number two. Yeah, just I don't know. Commentaries and stuff I've got a newfound appreciation for. I need to go back in my never-ending collection of freaking storage and room that I've got and try and just rediscover and I guess get a glimpse as to what such and such production was like. I need to go through everything and see what I can listen to and find.
Yeah, because like even some of my favourite films, I've never watched behind the scenes on
Yeah.
any kind of thing I've had it on. Like
Same here, yeah. I'm the
Star
same.
Wars stuff, I've never really watched.
Same here, yeah.
Back to the Future, like my favourite film of all time, never really watched the behind the scenes on that. And like, it is a dying art, really. Like there is less and less behind the scenes as things go on and things get released. It's why stuff like, linking it back to what we originally started talking about, the BFI screening for the Five Doctors, because season 20, like those box sets have given us a newfound appreciation.
A treasure trove of stuff, yeah.
Like Behind the Sofa is a fucking jewel in the crown. Like the on location stuff, the featurettes that are specific to each box set. Like it's really like a love letter to not just the show, like in the season, but to
physical media collectors as well.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing of, you know, you're getting your full money's worth because we're talking with, you know, surviving actors, directors, this, that, the journey from that, the script to screen, like the writers' table kind of things. Like, and it's a thing that I hope comes back, because I know that physical media for many is kind of like
a dying format or a dead format. Yeah,
a dying or dead format. Yeah, and especially when a lot of people made like the good point is everyone's obsessed with physical media until you realise you run out of space.
That is like 80% of the discussion.
Yeah,
but
and as much as, you know, it helps to have it so you can watch it when the internet goes down.
Definitely.
It's a space taken up, like, you know, with me, like I've got that room in there. But you know, that's why when, at least in the current thing, like in my current living situation, I can't keep going, I need to buy that, I need to buy that. There's so many films that I want to own in some capacity. Because
countless.
For me, they're like my books. They're like, you know, it's I can hold a conversation over a good film, recommendations, films that are recommended to me. We do it on a regular basis.
Yeah,
we want to do it more
on and off camera.
We want to do it more in a specified format that will hopefully, you know, be able to come back or actually happen for the first time. But it's just the appreciation for the early days of home media. Like DVD especially, because you didn't really get those kind of things on many, if at all,
other
VHSs.
formats. Prior, no, you didn't know. No,
you'd get the odd thing of like the double packages and stuff that would have like the odd featurette thing on it, like at the end.
Yeah.
But DVD's really where it sort of came alive, and it was like you say, you deleted scenes, like you get a whole new appreciation for some things of the movie. It also invented headcanon for those kind of things. Did it happen?
Exactly.
Did it not?
Yeah.
You know, you can believe it both ways. The gag reel, you know,
always fun. Yeah.
Learning about, like you say, the motivation and the emotion on set, like you feel like part of it. And Doctor Who felt at home to me because, you know,
of all that content,
I didn't
that
just get to know the characters. It was like, oh, David Tennant seems like he's a load of fun. Oh, Freema Agyeman's like really giving it a good go with Martha. Like, you know, she's not she's not at her strongest in season 3. Like, I love Martha, but I think she wasn't ready
as good as she
on
could have been.
professional level.
Like, fine.
Like, especially stuff post Martha. Like, she's amazing. She'd hit it out of the park, and I want her back. But those kind of things, it was just like, it was all, and you felt part of it. Like, especially seeing those behind the scenes and the locations, you feel part of it, and then you want to go and visit it. And like, for me, like in the distance, like Wales feels like home to me. Like,
right,
you know, I've been there like 2 or 3 times in my life. And like the first time I went to Cardiff, I got this real kind of emotional sort of connection.
Yeah.
Like standing in front of the Millennium Centre, like the tower where the TARDIS landed. Like, even though at that point it was 12 years ago that
they did
the TARDIS had first visually, like on screen, landed in Cardiff.
Entered your soul. Yeah. That image.
Like, for me, it was like that magic still holds in those kind of places, and I think we should, you know, if the companies aren't going to do it, like the people that do the location tours and things like that all over the place, like everyone should try them out, and you know, support. You know, it supports the industry through the location. Like it's a newer tourism kind of thing. Instead of Buckingham Palace, you're going to see where the Slitheen ran down an alleyway. But, alas, we didn't get tickets to the Five Doctors. Was the original version of that sentence. Yeah. Can BFI Southbank please create some kind of alert system where they tell us that the membership thing is open? Because I saw it by chance on Twitter. I mean X. like on sale tomorrow, which at the time of recording is Thursday the 10th at 11:30. Clicked on it and it said, "Oh, this is already sold out through the priority members thing," which obviously I had to become a member so that we could go to the Abominable Snowman. So yeah, please an alert, because fucking I get alerts from Cineworld all the time, and half the shit they send me I just ignore unless it's the Meg.
Unless it's the Meg.
Speaking of ignoring the Meg, one member among us has not ignored the Meg.
Oh, right.
Mainly because
one Meg's not enough.
I'm badgering La to see it this week because it will be her first 4DX experience.
It will be an experience for her.
Did you see it in 4DX?
Yes, and I never look back. I know when I'm going to see it again, it's going to be such a
downer.
But it's more just a generic movie. But I just compared to the first one in a very quick nutshell, it's just I enjoyed it a hell of a lot more than I did the first one. For me, it was just better.
You are famously not a lover of the Meg.
I mean, controversially,
was it 5 years ago the first one?
2018. It was
actually?
when we started this. Yeah,
Christ.
it was that long ago. Yeah.
My love for the Meg has lasted as long as this podcast.
I mean, who would have put that in a sentence? No, I don't know. There was nothing.
You're gonna have the reverse Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness occurrence I had, where I enjoyed Multiverse of Madness more because the second time I saw it in 4DX. So heightened expectations, like obviously, every single character is going to be in it, and then when you settle and know what the movie's going to be about, and then the 4DX kind of enhanced it.
Sure.
So obviously with the Meg is one of those films we say that when we see it, like that's a film made for
that
4DX.
Format. Yeah, definitely 1,000,000%.
And this is this year's 4DX film, apart from maybe Mission Impossible, is this. It's the Meg because it's big, stupid blockbuster fun. It's how long?
Compared to the first, or just
in general? I mean, you could compare it
Meg
to the first if you want, because the Meg flies by. It's one of the most, best-paced movies in all of modern cinema. And I say all these words to pad for time so Connor can Google.
No, Meg 2 is an hour and 56.
Fucking hell, that's not long.
And Meg 1 is an hour and 53, so 3 minutes longer than the first. They're both the same time.
So both just under 2 hours.
They felt the same. Yeah.
I would honestly thought you were going to say they were like 90 minutes, like
both of them.
Like,
yeah.
Like a bit of Let There Be Carnage, where clearly they've cut one of the acts.
There's just
out.
Act 1 and Act 3. Yeah, exactly.
There is no second act.
There isn't.
If you're a fan of the second act, not in this film.
It don't exist.
So I mean, you can go spoilers because there's not really going to be many ground shake. Is there going to be a Meg 3? Did they leave it set up for the Meg 3?
No, they didn't really. There's no post credits or nothing.
The book series is.
I didn't even realise it was based on books. I only found out after I saw Meg 2, and I thought, my goodness.
Yeah, because we briefly talked
this
about
shit ain't original.
One of them is, Jonah Statham rides on the back of a dinosaur and fights one of the sharks.
There is a third book.
How many books?
How many in the Meg series? Yeah. So there's.
I remember reading
4, 5, 6. There's 8. There's an 8th book coming out this year, Meg Purgatory. So I mean, the Meg universe, the MEGU is going to continue.
I mean, are you up for? In lieu of the Fast and Furious, are you up for
a Furious Meg?
Like the Meg
pissed
series.
Off. Meg is pissed off.
Yeah. Pissed off and ready for round 1, sir.
Yeah.
Like a Meg series akin to Fast and Furious that just finds its niche and runs with it.
Get some good cast members in it.
The first one never took itself seriously, and I always loved it for that. It's one of the first things I saw on Unlimited.
Yeah.
Connor, the other one, saw it I think like 4 times on his Unlimited, and it was the time when his card proper hadn't been sent out, so his like trial code thing run out. So I think, he fucking rinsed that just watching the Meg.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's big dumb fun. It's obviously also made to cater to the Chinese market because of the amount of it's set in China.
It is set in China. Yeah.
The amount of Asian stars in it as well.
Yeah, that very much
Which
continues with the next one
because they're putting more Asian
exposure
actors into the exposing them into a blockbuster scenario. Hopefully, therefore, creating more Asian cinema stars so that white Hollywood can stop going. But we haven't got anyone famous that's Asian. fucking,
Yeah.
you never would have found Simu Lau if you hadn't given him a chance. You know what I mean?
No, definitely
Obviously,
not.
like
Definitely
Asian American, Canadian, sorry,
not.
American.
Can...
Just turned into Matt Berry then.
Yeah.
But no, it's good for that, like, because it does all the stuff that Transformers: Age of Extinction did wrong, but just for a fact of like, look, we're making this just to purely have fun.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it screams to me. That's
Yeah.
what the Meg. It's one of the best steelbooks I own, and purely because it was £3 more expensive than the normal 4K version, and it was the last one left. I was like, well, fuck, I gotta buy the steelbook.
I have to have it.
I have to have it, and I will have this version.
Yeah,
this next film.
I would definitely own number 2.
So
I think
give us
maybe.
the rundown of the Meg 2, the trench. Even though they've dropped the now it's just Meg 2. Meg 2, the trench.
Yeah, Meg 2, the trench.
took the
yeah.
the,
Meg
put
2.
it
Yeah,
in front of
I
the
read it
trench.
as Meg 2, the trench, and I thought, oh, is this the right film? But it's Meg 2, the trench.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Can I ask you one thing before you go into the plot? Is the line from the trailer? Oh, great, more Megs. Is it in there?
No.
No,
I was waiting for it. I was sitting there going, oh, great, more Megs, and he don't say it.
They fucking reeled us in with that line.
They don't
Connor.
say it. They
They
do.
reeled us in. They knew
Oh,
as
great,
soon as we
more
heard
Megs.
that line.
Sold.
We booked our tickets, and they went, "Fuck you! I've taken the line out. I didn't actually say it." Does he have a kind of? I can't do this anymore, Mac. Like, is there a is there one of those in here?
I can't do this anymore, George.
Because that is, I mean, that's how you're going to resign from this podcast in about 12 years.
I can't do this anymore, George. Yeah.
Is there that kind of Statham delivery in a line that's just purely like, what the fuck is he saying this for? Please tell me.
No, I not from him. I feel like I mean I need to get the actor's name. But there's a new cast member that wasn't in the first one, who was one of my favourite additions to it. I just cannot think of his character's name or the actor's name. Yes, so the actor is Wu Jing, who wasn't in the first one, but he plays the uncle, like Ma Ying's uncle, Ma Ying. Oh yeah, so Ma Ying is the daughter from the first one, like the young girl. In this one, because it's set 5 years after the original, she's now a teenager. Or
Of course,
the character's a
naturally.
teenager. No, naturally. Not the same actress, of course, but it's... that.
How many years is this set after the Meg?
5.
Still 5. Oh,
Yes.
so that's good. So there's not been a major fucking. It's 10 years later and I still look like this.
Somehow.
It's
yeah.
not the X-Men.
Everyone's changed apart from me.
It's not the X-Men prequel series where they just take place in different decades, but Nicholas Holt's meant to be
Exactly the
nearly
same.
in his
Yeah.
60s, but he's still
Exactly the same.
30-year-old Nicholas Holt.
Yeah, no. No, I mean, Statham just looks like Statham does.
I always look like Statham. I can't do this anymore, Mac.
I can't do this anymore, Mac. But Wu Jing's character of Zhang, he was fucking funny. He was hilarious. Again, played a bit of a goof. There's bits where, like, can't do this anymore, Mac. There's sort of lines where it comes out of his mouth and you're like, eh?
Yeah.
What did you just say? Was that meant to be like the way you said it? But it's no Jason. From what I remember, there's no memorable, oh fuck, can't do this anymore, Mac. Like, oh, great, more Megs. There's none of that. It's all just from the trailers, which is unfortunate.
Is
It's
the
unfortunate.
squeaky pedals in
Yes.
that's still in
Yes.
there? That's the
Yeah,
sound effect
yeah,
they stuck
yeah.
with.
Yeah. That plays out
Does
exactly.
that scene still play out the same then?
Exactly the same. Yep.
So do you see?
I was like, thank goodness they kept that
Do you see
in.
the scene where it looks like it's in a sub, like where the Great More Megs line occurs? Like, is there a similar line of like, fucking hell, there's more of them?
Yeah. I feel like I might be. Fuck, there's more of them. Oh, great, there's more. Yeah, or something.
Where's
It
Vin
ain't.
Diesel when
It
you
ain't.
need him?
Oh, great, more Megs.
What a shame.
Only let down. No, but Cliff Curtis is back as well.
Yeah.
He's back being Jason Statham's right hand man as the operations manager. Ruby Rose isn't in this one.
She's not. No,
She's not in this one.
But do you want real talk? Not that bothered.
Oh, neither was I.
Because I think the cast does in the first one, you get sort of their basic, because it's basic motivations. Like, they're all this crew, fucking Rainn Wilson is the douchebag boss guy. You guys remember
Yeah.
Shark Week?
He's
obviously not in it because he died.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
So
that's how memorable the first one was.
but
DJ's back.
Ruby
Paige.
Rose is not. Apart from Orange Is the New Black, I've not seen her in anything where I'm like.
She was. I think she was Batwoman.
She was Batwoman.
The TV Batwoman.
She was TV Batwoman for one season, and then either the fact that she injured her back or the fact that the long grueling schedule, she didn't want to rule herself out of movies for another 9 months. Moved on, and we got the replacement who was a LGBT representative and a Batwoman of colour. So win-win. We upgraded for representation.
I'm going to butcher the first name, but Javicia Leslie. Who played a different character that wasn't Kate Kane, like Ruby Rose's character. It's just another incarnation of Batwoman.
Another incarnation, like Doctor Whom. So DJ's back.
DJ is back. Cliff Curtis is back. Statham's back. Like I say, the daughter's now a teenager, so it's not the same actress, but she's the same character in universe. They talk about the main love interest from the first one, but why she isn't in it as such. But there's like an archival photo of her, and there's a little clip.
Is she dead?
I think in universe she was.
Oh,
but I can't remember what happened to her as to why she wasn't in it.
So is Jason Statham the surrogate father for this?
Yeah, for the stepdaughter. Yeah.
Wow.
And Wu Jing's character is her uncle, who.
Does it?
Yeah.
Sorry. Does it infer that there was a relationship between Jason Statham and the character from the first film? Then.
Yeah. I mean, that's how the first one pretty much ended. It was kind of them as like a happy relationship family unit.
She stared at him in the shower for a bit, and then that was the end of the romance.
Oh God, I stared at you in the shower. I stared at you in the shower. I stared at your mum in the shower.
That scene always reminds me of when in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, I was like, "Was you waiting out here to catch me in the towel?"
That's a good shout. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of actors who I can't remember who. I remember the baddie, but I can't remember none of these names or none of these actors. But essentially, they're all the returning people. Everyone else is either minor or new
ones.
I mean,
who we got? Who's the new guys?
So Sergio Perez Mencheta, or Luis Sergio Perez Mencheta, is the villain. Spanish theatre, cinema, and TV actor, as well as theatre director.
For some
Yeah.
More representation, getting some more, because if more theatre actors being given the chance to play in a big... You know what? The Meg is going to do great things for fucking representation in blockbusters. They might not be good films, but we're going to cast, people from Spanish theatre, a predominantly Asian cast in the first one that's going to carry on into this.
Definitely continues,
Hopefully just some more unknowns that are just getting a chance of... Maybe the Meg's going to be like the EastEnders of the film world. It's going to give people their stepping stone.
Sienna Gullery, English actress, played Jill Valentine in the Resident Evil films. I don't remember her in them. Skylar Samuels is an American blonde woman, and she was. And spoiler alert, she was the villain or one of the villains.
One of them,
yeah.
Maybe more.
Maybe more.
I once knew a man like you in Burma. I watched him.
Oh, the person who was basically the model of Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but there isn't a photo. But Melissanthi Mahut, like Canadian/Greek, Canadian/Greek actress, but she did Cassandra from Assassin's Creed. So she was like the model, the actual mocap model.
Yeah.
But she was in the Meg too, as Regus.
We're transcending fucking media.
Yeah. And then Kieran Sonia Savar as Sal.
Yeah.
Scottish actress. Yeah. I do remember the Scottish woman. There ain't no photo of her. But that rings a bell. But she's in episode of Black Mirror called Crocodile.
Oh, Crocodile.
Season 4 episode of Black Mirror.
Lovely. So not like no massive people really in it.
No, apart from Statham.
Apart from Jason.
I'm
here for the paycheck and that's all I fucking want.
Sure, I fucking want.
Out of this and the Expendables 4, I'd much rather watch Jason Statham in the Meg.
I mean, I've still not got around to Expendables. To any of them.
Okay, so here's my lowdown for the Expendables.
Yeah.
Before you jump back into the sea with the Meg.
Yeah.
Watch number 1.
Fine.
You'll watch all of them anyway because
I will in roundup. I'm
a
dedicated to the cause.
Yeah, exactly. Likes to suffer.
Definitely completionist.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to suffer for your art, and we as an audience appreciate you. But
yes, yeah,
the Expendables it works. It's kind of like, oh, this is a fun idea,
yeah,
and then they're like, what if we keep doing that?
yeah.
Now the problem I have, and I can't believe I'm saying this with Expendables 4, is that it's probably going to be the worst one out of all of them, purely because the whole thing of the trailer is, and we got some new blood, and they put in loads of new younger actors, and it's like, but the point of it was all these old action stars. So you make it more new blood, you're kind of making it more like a generic action film, and it feels
the
trailer
and the passing of the torch and stuff. Yeah,
the trailer for the fourth one feels very generic.
Mm.
Like it's more of a, like at least the flair of the others was like, you had Arnold Schwarzenegger saying Terminator lines to Bruce Willis, and Bruce Willis wasn't back for the third one because he asked for like double
what a ridiculous amount of money.
3 days work. It was like 3 days work, and they offered him like $1 million, and he went, "I want 4 million." And Statham went, "Fuck you," and wrote him out and wrote in Harrison Ford for the third one.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Basically, he took the piss.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds it. Yeah.
I know that what he's going through personally now, like Bruce Willis in terms of his health, not great, but also he's been known for a great number of years to basically do very little work for very big paycheck. See Glass.
Yeah, man.
And other such things.
Man, that was suffering at his finest.
Like, why do you think the character, like Bruce Willis's character, always wore the poncho? Because it covered his face. Because they probably didn't have Bruce Willis for that long. Anyway, body doubles. But yeah, I'd rather see in stuff like Sharknado. For instance,
I still not got around to Sharknado or any films.
Those kind of things.
I just know Deep Blue Sea and
Deepest Bluest.
Deep
Blue Sea 1 is great.
Yeah, Deep Blue Sea.
Please watch Deep Blue Sea. Then watch Deep Blue Sea 2 if you're interested.
Okay. How many Deep Blue Seas? How many seas were blue?
I think there's only two.
Deep? There's only two?
Maybe a third.
Okay.
It's not like Anaconda where there's like 4 of them.
Yeah.
So, like, creature feature, like big blockbuster, stupid, it's not that great. It's very 90s, early 2000s in terms of a franchise. But
it's a time capsule.
It's nice to have it just to have fun, especially like you don't want to be seeing, like I don't want to be concentrating on a fucking Kang Dynasty every other week. Like sometimes I just
or an
want to
Oppenheimer.
turn my brain off and just watch the weird shooty shark man.
The weird shooty shark man.
But no, what would you give? So what is your, if you're giving the mega score?
So I think
5 out of 5. Fantastic.
No, 8.5. The first one I'd give like a 3.
So it's
3.5.
Well above average. What is it you didn't like about the first one? Is it because you wanted something more serious?
No. Well, I don't know what I even wanted back. But my mindset back then to me now, I mean, not just the gap of life, it's completely different. Yeah, I don't know what I wanted back when I was fucking back in 2018. I don't know. With movies. But I don't know. It, for me, lost momentum towards the end. Then the ending happened, and that's why everyone, you're there to see the action and the sharks and the shark eating the people and, the fucking pedal bikes and the fucking shark on shark fighting and, oh my god, the shark's dead, woohoo! All that shit from the first one. I mean, that stuff kept me awake. It's just, I don't know, at some point, the Megs me just sort of lost my momentum, but then it sort of got my interest at the end. Whereas this one, not just because of the enhancements of the 4D, but I was just more interested in the plot, the actual ideas, the whole deep underwater walk, which I think was in the trailer. Like they get basically the mech suits and they walk under.
In that bit of the trailer, it makes it look like a horror, like a flat-out horror.
I mean, yeah, it's not. It don't go down that route for as long as it should, and it don't make it as intense as it can. But there were, I mean, more so because of the chairs. Because all of a sudden you just get, and it was like, for fuck's sake, the whole time was just. But no, if you're watching it at home, it ain't gonna be like that.
Did you get whiplash when the shark attacked? Like, was it like?
Yeah, but also just when they're underwater, it was like watching Dragon Ball. The way the cameras moved and the chairs just sort of swayed with it, and then when like. You'd get fucking harpoons and the sharks swimming underwater. And you see the fins.
A man from Cineworld walked in with a harpoon and threw it at you.
Yeah, and the fins come out the water. Your chairs would just vibrate and just stagger. And you'd be like, what the fuck's going on here? It's just the fucking fin poking out the water, and yet the chairs are just like as if you knew it was coming. You're like, okay, but no, it definitely worth the extra money for those that are into 4DX, but also for those that just want to watch a movie still and not have your insides shaken. You would have fucking hated it and walked out like you would have. And if you were tiny, how you did not come out bruised or in A&E, I don't know.
Do you think people will only enjoy it from that kind of experience, or
I mean, I certainly did.
do you think you wouldn't have enjoyed it watching it normally?
No,
Or
well,
you would have enjoyed it significantly less?
less.
It was kind of like an event for you.
I wouldn't have said significantly though, because I feel like every 4DX at this point is an event. Even though I do, every other week I'll see something in 4D, so it isn't an event anymore because I see too much maybe in 4D, but just a little bit too much.
Fucking
But
4 dimensions over
four
it.
dimensions now. There's 16 worlds. What do I? 4 times 4 is 16 worlds. No, I'm 16 DX is that's how often I go and see 4D stuff. But no, I just liked more the ideas. I liked the scripts.
Maths joke for everyone out there.
16 worlds. No, I just thought it was just more interesting in general. This one kept my attention. The sharks did their thing and it isn't just sharks. Not to spoil anything, it's more than sharks. There's other creatures underwater.
There's no way he rides into battle on a dinosaur just like in the fucking book.
There's some lizard dinosaur baby hybrid type creatures in it, like that go on land and eat people. They're not part of the shark family, that's for sure. There's some weird lizard, walking creatures. And there may or not be a rogue jellyfish octopus type creature.
Oh, please tell me we're going to get more giant... If it's going to end up like Godzilla versus Kong levels of just stupid...
But all underwater.
Yeah, like big fucking animals just fighting. I'm here for it.
And the third
I
act...
want an octopus. I want the octopus.
The third act plays out similar like the first. People on land. You're in Happy Island or Fun Island or something it's called. It just comes up in funny text and you're like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. And then... Again, that's where you get the segue, and they're just pedaling for their lives, and then the shark just munches them, and there's a puppy that may or may not have suffered a cruel fate. There's a family that Jason Statham's got to save, and it very much is similar to the Meg 1. It's the same type of third act, and then the ending, without getting into it, doesn't necessarily set up number 3, but then you never say never. Not some more... The first one I feel like left it sequel bait. This one doesn't feel very sequel baity. But it's got mostly negative reviews. I thought this one would have done better. For me, it was just a lot more interesting than the first. I don't know. The first one just...
Mixed reviews. Box office success, grossing 530 million worldwide.
And what does number 2 say at the minute?
Budget was
130.
Probably more than that because of press. So maybe so it made at least 300 mil.
Yeah, and that one is...
I mean, we're above it.
Yeah, we are above it.
We'll keep going.
Yeah,
Is there going to be future? In 2023, we stated that there had been internal discussions about a potential third movie. Filmmakers stated that while its development depends on the success of the Meg 2, he hopes to continue the story as outlined in the novels. Yes, Ben Wheatley.
And there's fucking 8 of them, so there's
Sorry, can we just also appreciate that Ben Wheatley also directed Doctor Who?
Which episodes?
Do you want to guess?
From what season? Give me actor or era or season. Or all 3.
Actor or era or season?
All 3. Oh, I see 2014, so that's Series 8 then. That's Series 8. The good ones, I guess. Mummy on the Orient Express and something else. What episode is good? The first 2 episodes. Oh, I've read it. The first 2 episodes.
Oh, there you go. So Into the Dalek and Deep Breath.
Fine. I like them both. Okay.
I think they're okay. That's enough of that.
Yeah, but Ben Wheatley, Doctor Who director now, Shark extraordinaire man.
What did Joe Turtle do? He was the director of the first one.
Cool Runnings.
Las Vegas. Cool Runnings.
National
Treasure. Sorcerer's Apprentice. Where's Nick Cage in the Shark movie?
Yeah, why did that not happen? Maybe that's the Meg 3. Maybe that's the Meg 3.
Maybe it is. But Ben Wheatley wants to carry on and do all the novels. I say to thee, yes.
Fair play, yeah. I think he did a better job than turn National Treasure Turtle Barb. No offence, John. I just think this Ben Wheatley kept my attention.
Mating season discusses the possibility she is pregnant and decide not to think about it. So that kind of leaves it for fucking maybe to give birth to more Megs. And decides not.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
sorry, can we just appreciate this line here. Taylor decides that it's better not to think about it, and the group celebrates their survival. And that's clearly going to be the downfall of the group in Meg 3, whatever it's going to fucking be called. I hope we get a Meg 3. I hope.
What is the third book called? So, is that Trench, I think, is the name of the second book.
Shark 2 in some territories.
Oh, a title Shark 2.
So the novel's called The
It's
Trench.
The Trench.
Meg the Trench.
So
Or digitally known as The Trench Meg 2.
Great.
99.
Yeah, 1 year old. Oh, so when did the first one come out? Just
sequel to
97.
97. Where is the
The series.
The series.
I just
Can't find it.
I had it somewhere.
Oh, so you got so sequels: The Trench, Meg Primal Wars. That sounds amazing. Meg Hell's Aquarium, Meg Origins,
Yeah.
Meg Night Stalkers, Meg Generations, and Meg Purgatory coming out this year. That
Hell's Aquarium sounds like a good
so
movie.
eight books in total. I'm here for 8 films. I'm here
for another one. I'll see what happens with Meg 3.
Do the 8th film. Do it in 2 parts, but make it a trilogy.
Oh god.
Have Jason Momoa be in it, because then that's a whole meta textuality to fucking Aquaman.
Aquaman. And The Trench. Why isn't Jason Momoa a cameo in The Trench? Considering that The Trench was almost happening.
Yeah. What happens in Primal Wars? Known as Meg Primal Wars, the 2004. So a bit of a gap. So that's a 5-year jump.
Now a middle-aged father of 2. 18 years after the previous novel. So they've got to fucking make Jason save
in
him old.
2019. So this would be between.
What?
This would be between 1 and 2 if it was the
Of
films.
movies. What? Unless Meg 3 is going to be a prequel.
The Megalodon returns to the trench with his dead master's room. What?
The pregnant angel is
Get revenge on Jonas for using his pet Meg Scarface.
What?
Does he ever allude to one of the Megs as Scarface in the film?
I think he does. In this new one, he does.
So Scarface is his one.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
It's the T-Rex helping fight the Indominus Rex at the end of Jurassic World. It's that level of, it's a good thing now, but it's still an animal that could rip your fucking genitals off. Speaking of rip your genitals off.
Meg 2, go and see it.
Go see it, yeah.
Yeah, I'd love Meg 2.
I really can't wait to see it, because I'm definitely going to fucking post a TikTok on it and about how much I love it, and it's my favourite film of all time. What else happened? That was about it, really. A bit of a slow news week. The original plans for the end of the DCEU stuff that we'll probably touch on next week more. Louis Leterrier talking about his scrapped Incredible Hulk sequel. Bits and pieces, nothing really of note, but hey, let us know if you are going to the BFI screening in September or whenever it is, and we'll we won't be there because we don't have a ticket. But if anyone gets a ticket and wants to sell them,
Hey, exactly. Anyone that's going to Sheldon, yeah, send them our way.
sure thing. Ben
Send them our
Grimm.
way.
Oh, the rumoured casting of the Fantastic Four.
Oh my god, yeah.
Vanessa Kirby,
And Joe, was it Joe Quinn? No.
Joseph Quinn as Johnny.
Johnny.
Rumoured for Galactus, because Galactus is going to be the villain of the first movie.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people have said, well, yeah, you don't need to build up to him and have loads of seeding because he just eats planets. Like, you can
He
only really
exists.
do him a couple of times.
Mm.
Antonio Banderas.
I kind of see that.
I see it. I like it. I'm here for it. Yeah, I like it. I don't know if it'll happen, if it's real. Matt Smith being heavily rumoured for Reed Richards. At this point, you know, well, we're probably not getting John Krasinski, but does it matter? I'm kind of at the point now. I just kind of want the movie. I don't really care who's in it.
Just on a random bit of trivia, more than a bit of news, but Oppenheimer is now the highest-grossing World War II film ever, passing both Dunkirk and Saving Private Ryan. Currently sitting as of 2 days ago at 553 million in the box office.
Do you know it's not?
You still got thoughts on Oppenheimer? Are you still sort of wanting to see it, or?
Oh yeah, I want to see it, especially in the cinema, just to experience it. But it's just getting around to it. I still need and want to see Barbie. Turismo.
And a
Teenage-
Mattel doll. I can't think the fucking name. Polly something. They're basically making a movie about another Barbie Mattel doll. But I thought
Polly
it's called-
Pockets?
I think, yeah. I think it's being not commissioned, but it's very much likely that's going to happen. So we might actually get a cinematic universe.
So this thing I was telling
Yeah.
you about before with Secret Invasion. So there's the screen.
Yeah.
What does that say?
Oh. Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
That is Bruce Wayne. What?
Unless that was an early mistakey screen grab that they didn't fix, because
Oh dear, Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne, yes. Cillian Murphy as Doctor Doom, yes, please. But yeah, there's some DC stuff rattling around because
Yeah.
there's more talk of the Aya Cut and the original ending for the DC EU. But we'll maybe talk about that in an upcoming week.
I was going to say
a bit
two
of a
things I
slow
wanted
week.
to end with, but this one I've just found
Go on
randomly.
then.
Daredevil Born Again news. Just random bits of news. I think we may have touched on it or not, but Nelson and Murdoch are done
Yes, it's something else. Murdoch and Associates thing.
because of
is-
Kirsten McDuff. They're going to be working together at a new firm.
I hope that it's a red herring and that Foggy, as played by
Eldon Henson, yeah, they have to.
and Deborah Ann Woll, to both be in, at least be in Daredevil Born Again, because they are, especially the way that Daredevil ended.
The other one, definitely the way it ended,
Like,
yeah.
Nelson Murdoch and whatever Deborah Ann Woll's character's name's called.
Karen. Speak to
Paige.
your manager.
Yeah, so it would Nelson Murdoch and Paige, wasn't it?
Mm.
On the napkin, and then it
Mm.
ended. I want some kind of resolution to that. I want them in it. I don't want them recast like Vanessa.
No.
Vanessa, it's not that big of a deal, really.
No. In the grand scheme.
As long
no.
as she still has the same impact on Wilson Fisk's life as Vanessa in the series did, then we'll be all good, won't we?
Yeah.
I have something to end for you.
Do you?
Yes.
I've got two more, but if you want to end,
What-
then
what
I'll
have
give
you
my
got? Go on
ending.
then. Well, what have you got?
Just a movie news.
a movie news.
Taxi driver writer Paul Schrader. I don't know if you're familiar with his work. He's done
Uh-huh.
quite a few stuff. I can't think of fucking none. He's been asked to helm a JFK assassination film. This is relevant because
Wow.
I'm reading a Stephen King novel, 11/22/63, which is all about the
That's
the
date-
prevention of
That's the
JFK.
date
Mm.
before the first episode.
So
of
Doctor Who. That's more important. It all went back.
Replay the first episode again so they can see the next one. Because without the Kennedy assassination nearly killed Doctor Who. Damn it! No, that sounds interesting.
Starring Viggo Mortensen, Shia LaBeouf, Al Pacino, John Travolta, and Courtney Love. It don't say who's who. Who out of those names?
They're
Who
all
would you put as JFK?
They're all playing JFK.
They're all JFK.
Everyone is JFK. What the? I mean, it's an interesting concept. It's something
Yeah.
I thought would have been adapted into a season of American Crime Story or something.
Something, yeah, yeah.
A film about it. Because spoiler alert, we know how it ends.
Mm.
Because there's not much you can do because there is no
It's one of
definitive
the
answer
unsolved
of
mysteries
who
of life.
actually
Yeah,
did it. Like there is only
that
the evidence
bastard
that
got
had
away with it.
the curved bullet. Was
Yeah.
it Magneto? We don't know.
Um,
But
yeah,
also, like, that cast, very mixed bag.
very sort of old hat as well. Like, no offense to any
Very
of those
fucking-
legendary
that's-
people, but like, very.
I feel like Will Schrader's just fucking picked some names out of a fucking hat.
Mm.
I'll have Shia LaBeouf, John Travolta. It's like, what, you'd say something like an
Al
NFL
Pacino.
All-Star team? What the fuck's going on?
Always going on.
But
Yeah, I mean, when that idea develops, if we get any updates, we'll be keeping you updated with that.
It will come out the day before
The Meg 3.
Wild Blue Yonder or whatever the first Doctor Who special is, and they'll have to replay
wow.
the special again the next time. Play it again so we get the audience. In a way of synergy, Kennedy will once again have an impact on Doctor Who in the fucking November the fucking 23rd. I don't know.
Then this is just more of a statement. I mean, I don't know how true this is.
Statement.
This is just a random figure. There's been a 300% increase in parents interested in naming. Guess what, George? What name is increased by 300%?
Oh, okay.
Following a
What
popular
year?
movie.
What year is this from? Is this taken from this year?
Yeah.
So what happened this year? I'm gonna say Grogu.
Surprisingly or unsurprisingly, no.
Mandalorian.
Mando, no. Lando Mando.
Din Djarin.
Din, no.
John Favreau.
No.
Jonas Statham.
No. Meg.
Family.
Fam. Something very recent.
There's not been anything like Game of Thrones that people name
This
their kids
this
after
movie is
before.
far from Game of Thrones, but this movie's made people impact in a way similar to Game of Thrones to some, but not because of its violence or bloody horror.
Chris Pine's character in Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know.
I can't
Who?
think of his name.
What's
Barbie. People want to name their kid. There's been a 300% increase in parents interested in naming their child Barbie following the film.
And that,
Like legally, they
and
want to
that,
name their
ladies and
kid
gentlemen,
Barbies.
is why,
Yes.
as a species, we can't have nice things like the apparent Wonder Woman 3 that will take place in the DCU.
Yeah, that's
being
news.
worked on by
Yeah.
James Gunn. Is it real? Is it fake? We'll never know, but we'll let you know when we do. Just like we'll let you know where to find us.
Yeah. Across. Yeah.
Yeah.
Across all the social medias. Social media. Oh, Sean Connery's taking over. Yeah. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the TikTok, where all sort of goodies and reviews and first impressions and thoughts should come out on a somewhat regular basis. Pasty sheep across all those platforms. Or if you want to send us an electronic mail, you can send it to nerdbiblecontact@gmail.com. Leave us your updates, your comments, your opinions on things, any suggestions you'd like us to talk about, any bits of news that you would like to give to the world, because we just deliver on behalf of the news of the world. That's exactly what we do for free until one day that will hopefully change. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than, yeah, it's been a bit of a quiet week. Megs happened. Go and see good old Megan in the Sea. She deserves it. Give her a second round and, oh fuck, more Megs.
Give her a second round.
I mean, people gave her people suffered the first round of it the first time round, so heck, dibs for round 2.
We want Meg 3. We want Meg 3.
In hell.